health education and groups to promote health. A major goal of healthcare reform is to reduce costs. One way to do this is to help people stay healthy and to reduce illness and disability. Nurses can play a key role in this aspect of healthcare reform by teaching individuals, families, groups, and communities how to promote better health. On these next two slides are your objectives for this lecture. Education is an activity undertaken or initiated by one or more agents that is designed to affect changes in the knowledge, skill, and attitudes of individuals, groups, or communities. Education emphasizes the provider of knowledge and skills. In contrast, learning emphasizes the recipient of knowledge and skills and the person or persons in whom a change is expected to occur. Remember that learning involves change. How people learn. People learn best through active involvement. Learners accept information based on what they already know, what they believe, the culture they were raised in, and how well they understand and relate to the information. What a person hears is filtered through his past experiences, the social groups to which he belongs, the assumptions, values, level of attention and knowledge, and the esteem with which he holds the person communicating the information. A variety of educational principles can be used to guide the selection of health information for individuals, families, communities, and populations. Three of the most useful categories of educational principles include those associated with the nature of learning, the educational process, and the skills of effective educators. The nature of learning. There are three domains of learning: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Each domain has specific behavioral components that form a hierarchy of steps or levels and motivating adult learners. Adults are motivated to learn when they think they need to know something, when the new information is compatible with their prior life experiences, when they value the person providing the information, when they believe they can make any necessary changes that are implied by the new information. The cognitive domain consists of these components: knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Knowledge simply requires the recall of information. Comprehension combines recall with understanding. Application, where new information is taken in and used in a different way. Analysis breaks down communication into parts to understand both the parts and their relationship to one another. Synthesis builds on the first four levels by assembling them into a new whole. And evaluation, where the learners judge the value of what has been learned. The affective domain. Affective learning, like cognitive learning, consists of a series of steps that the learner takes. These steps are knowledge, receiving the information; comprehension, responding to the information received; application, valuing the information; analysis, making sense of the information; synthesis, organizing the information; and an evaluation, adopting behaviors consistent with new values. The psychomotor domain includes performance of skills that require some degree of neuromuscular coordination and emphasizes motor skills. They first show learners how to do the skill, then allow learners to practice. The psychomotor learning depends on learners meeting the following three conditions. The learner must have the necessary ability. This will include both cognitive and psychomotor ability. For example, you may find that a person with Alzheimer's disease can follow only one-step instructions. Thus, you need to tailor your education plan to that person. The learner must have a sensory image of how to carry out the skill. For example, when teaching a group of women how to cook in a more heart-healthy manner, ask the women to describe their kitchen and how they would actually go about the cooking process. Then the learner must have opportunities to practice the new skill. Provide practice sessions during the program to help the patient adapt the skill to his or her home or work environment where the skill will be performed. The educational process builds on an understanding of education, learning, and how people learn. The 5 steps of the educational process are discussed next. Identify first the educational needs. There needs to be a systematic and thorough assessment. Identify what the patient wants to know. Collect data systematically to obtain information about learning needs, readiness to learn, and barriers to learning. Analyze the assessment data that has been collected and identify cognitive, affective, and psychomotor learning needs. Then think about what will increase the patient's ability and motivation to learn. Then assist the patient to prioritize learning needs. Next, it is important to establish educational goals and objectives. Then you want to select the appropriate educational method. The method should be matched to the patient's strengths and needs, as well as those of the presenter. Try to vary methods to hold the learner's attention, and you can see box 16.2 for strategies to enhance learning. Here you see skills of the effective educator. Very important that you learn to gain their attention, inform them of the objectives, help them know what they already know, present the material, provide guidance, elicit a performance, give feedback and assess that performance, and enhance retention. Developing effective health education programs, they should include a clear message in an environment that is free from distractions and consistent with the message. Provide information that is understandable to the learner. Be sure that you use plain language and avoid jargon. Know who your audience is. There are 3 important educational issues to consider when you're planning educational programs. First, different populations of learners require different teaching strategies. Population considerations are based on age, culture, and ethnic backgrounds. Second, be prepared to overcome barriers to learning. Third, consider the appropriateness of using technology in the program. Population considerations are very important. You want age-specific strategies, understanding that the terms pedagogy and andragogy mean very different things. Pedagogy are learning strategies for children and individuals with little knowledge about a health-related topic. Andragogy are learning strategies for adults, older adults, and individuals with some health-related knowledge about a topic. Barriers to learning are very important. There are educational-related barriers such as fear of public speaking, lack of credibility with respect to a certain topic, limited professional experiences, unable to deal with difficult people, lack of knowledge about how to gain participation, lack of experience in timing of presentation, and various others. Learner-related barriers often relate to low literacy or lack of motivation to learn information and make needed behavioral changes. And you see listed here 3 behavioral models. Be sure that you look at that. The use of technology in health education can be very beneficial. Technologies can help the learner to control the pace of the instruction, offer flexibility in the time and location, present an appealing form, and provide immediate feedback. Educating people through the internet has been shown to be more effective in fostering treatment adherence than in-person counseling, telephone counseling, or self-directed learning. Evaluate the educational process. Evaluation provides a systematical and logical method for making decisions to improve the educational program. Feedback to the educator provides an opportunity for the educator to modify the teaching process and enables the educator to better meet the learner's needs. Process evaluation examines the dynamic components of the educational program. It follows and assesses the movements and management of information transfer and attempts to make sure that the objectives are being met. The educational product is the outcome of the educational process. It is measured both quantitatively and qualitatively. There are a variety of approaches, methods, and tools that can be used for evaluation. Questionnaires, rating scales, surveys, checklists, demonstrations, testing, subjective patient feedback, or direct observation of mastery. Evaluation of outcomes measured includes changes in knowledge, skills, abilities, attitudes, behavior, health status, and quality of life. Nurses often provide health education to groups. People live in a social structure that may include family, coworkers, classmates, friends, and acquaintances. Health behavior is influenced by the groups to which people belong, and groups may support either beneficial or poor health practices. Groups are an effective and powerful medium to initiate and implement changes for individuals, families, organizations, and the community. A group is a collection of interacting individuals who have a common purpose. Formal groups have defined membership and a specific purpose. They may or may not have an official place in the community's organization. In informal groups, the ties between members are multiple and the purposes are unwritten but understood. These groups often form spontaneously when participants have a common interest or need. Cohesion is the attraction between individual members and between each member and the group. Individuals in a highly cohesive group identify themselves as a unit, work toward common goals, endure frustration for the sake of the group, and defend the group against outside criticism. A task function is anything a member does that deliberately contributes to the group's purpose. Members with task-directed abilities become more attractive to the group. These traits include strong problem-solving skills, access to material resources, and skills in directing. Of equal importance are abilities to affirm and support individuals in the group. These functions are called maintenance functions because they help other members stay with the group and feel accepted. Other maintenance functions are the ability to help people resolve conflicts and create social and environmental comfort. Both task and maintenance functions are necessary for the group progress. Norms are standards that guide, control, and regulate individuals and communities. The task norm is the commitment to return to the central goals of the group. The strength of the task norm determines the group's ability to adhere to its work. Maintenance norms create group pressures to affirm members and maintain their comfort. Reality norms exist when members reinforce or challenge and correct their ideas of what is real. Group, either task, maintenance, or reality norms combine to form a group culture. The role structure of a group refers to the expected ways in which members behave toward one another. Stages of group development are forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Specifically, in the forming stage, members become acquainted with one another and the leader. They become oriented to the group, try to determine what their behavior should be in relation to one another and the goal of the group. In the storming stage, members begin to express their own individuality, which may run counter to that of others, and they often express hostility to one another and polarize due to interpersonal issues. In the third, or the norming stage, members start to accept one another. They develop some cohesion, some norms and roles, and become comfortable in expressing their opinions and offering ideas. Members begin to trust one another, and their interaction takes on more depth. In the fourth stage, performing, the group uses its interpersonal structure to accomplish its goal. The group energy is directed toward the task. And the fifth stage, in adjourning, the group engages in separating from one another. Beginning interactions. Work on the stated purpose begins as soon as the group forms and helps members interact with some degree of satisfaction. Conflict occurs when members feel obstructed or irritated by one or more group members. In groups, members may express frustrations about trust, closeness, separation, dependence, or independence. Early in the planning, specify action steps that should be taken to meet goals. They may be responses to learning objectives, or they may reflect the group's problem-solving plan. Recognition of accomplishments in the group and of the group is built into the group's evaluation system. Celebration for group accomplishment marks progress, rewards members, and motivates each person to continue. Implement the educational plan. Control over starting, sustaining, and stopping each method and strategy in the most effective and appropriate time and manner. Coordination and control of environmental factors, the flow of the presentation, and logically related to the core theme and overall program goals.